And besides that, I think some of our players are not doing badly outside the shores of Nigeria, and we will be looking at that. But first of all, who do we have in camp already? How prepared the Super Eagles as they take on their counterpart? We're talking about a playoff here. We all know what happened as far as the playoff is concerned right here in Nigeria, and of course in Uyo. Let me be specific now, and of course that winning in Uyo, kudos to our own brother Victor Osimhen, who actually put a smile on the faces of Nigerians in Uyo that day, that has actually made us qualify for the playoff, because the playoff, you even need to qualify for the playoff before you even play the playoff, and of course qualify for the World Cup. Well, if you succeed in the playoff as Super Eagles that we are, then we will be sure of playing right there in the World Cup. Let's begin with some very striking stories right here, as the 18 players in camp of the Super Eagles right now begin Morocco final push. Well, the push is so severe, the push is so intensive. This push is not something to joke with, as the Super Eagles camp has officially opened in Rabat, Morocco, ahead of the Thursday's crucial 2026 FIFA World Cup playoff against Gabon. Today is Tuesday, so we'll have just 2 more days to get on. But then, how prepared is the Gabonese? Gabon, you can't play with Gabon. I will tell you something about Gabon. Let's just continue. Let me bring you some full details about the Super Eagles player in camp right now, with 18 players already on ground as preparations intensify. The team already have confirmed the development in a post in its official X handle today, sharing the full list of arrival under the caption "Eagles in Camp." Of course, it is a very beautiful one. Those in Morocco right now include our own very Calvin Bassey. Well, Calvin Bassey's presence in camp, you know how it means. One of the things that stands out for me, as it has to do with Calvin Bassey, is the push and the energy right in front there. Alex Iwobi is also in camp right now. Samuel Chukwueze is also in camp. You remember Chukwueze, the man that saved us in that our other match that time, and Tolu Rokodare is also in camp. Olakunle Olusegun is also in camp, and of course Wilfred Ndidi is also in camp. Well, Wilfred Ndidi, some of you may be saying, hey, come on, Wilfred Ndidi is not like the Wilfred Ndidi that we used to know, but then I think the presence of these players have a long way, all right, playing some very impact, but then Wilfred Ndidi has been very, very fantastic. And of course, he's one player that has experience. If it is experience, you give it to Ndidi. What about Moses Simon, who is also in camp right now? Moses is also in camp, and of course, Moses is another player that is bringing in his, of course, wealth of experience, and the captain of the team, William Truss Ekong, the man who is at the defense. Even in that our game, a lot of people faulted him, and he came out and apologized and said, well, it is all my fault. And that's what makes a good player, owning up when it's time to own up, but then no hatred, nothing. He's also in camp already. And of course, Benjamin Frederick is also in camp. It will interest you to know that we have some very interesting and new players in camp of the Super Eagles right now. What about Chidozie Awuzem? Is already in camp, and of course it is an interesting one. And who else is in camp? Amas Obasage. Yeah, he's in camp. Obasage is in camp too, and it's good. Then the man who has been speaking, do you know what Nwabali said? He's giving Nigerians hope. He said, don't worry, we will try our best and we'll try everything possible to make sure we come out with the full goal. And as a matter of fact, the winning. Then Shemi Ajayi is also in camp. Guess what? The African Footballer of the Year is also in camp. Talking about Ademola Lookman, he's already in camp. That young lad that performed magic in our last game from Odoba Otupa in Benue State is also in camp already. That is Akko Adams. And of course, Chidera Ejuke is also in camp. Bright Osaye Samuel is also in camp. And others include Raphael Onyedika. The team officials are already in camp. Then, of course, the first batch of players arrived at the River Hotels Rabat, and that was on Sunday afternoon, signaling the start of the final phase of preparations for the decisive fixture that we are waiting for. It's actually a decisive one, and the reason why it's decisive is because all Nigerians are waiting. Eyes are on that game. Nigerians are waiting for what will happen from that game, of course. The team's media officer, Promise Efoge, earlier confirmed that early arrivals include the trio of Basi Iwobi and Chukwueze alongside Rokodare and Olusegun. Head coach Eric Chele had named a 25-man squad already for the playoff, but right now we have 18 guys in camp featuring a blend of returning stars and consistent performers like the Udinese goalkeeper Maduka Okoye is returning back to the team, and Sevilla's winger Chidera Ejuke both earned records after a strong club performance this season. If you've been following Okoye this season, I think his performance in his club is not bad compared to the previous season. Then you talk about Ejuke too, Chidera himself, the performance is not bad, and that's to tell you that Eric Chile is watching whatever that is going on, and it's so good. It's encouraging for us to have fresh blood and people that are even in the team but have not been playing for a while to actually showcase their talent in the field of play. But then this playoff is not to be a try and error. Put the good legs, get the goals coming in, and make Nigerians happy. Of course, we're talking about the 2026 World Cup qualifiers as 18 players are already in camp. Super Eagles begin Morocco's final push. But then I think it's a good one that Nigeria will face Gabon, and that is going to be on Thursday. Like I said, it's going to be a semi-final clash, while Cameroon will battle the Democratic Republic of Congo. If Nigeria didn't go to World Cup and Cameroon didn't go to World Cup, it won't be a good one. Well, anyhow, these two teams will qualify from this playoff. But then, if you want to say, is it the Republic of Congo that you don't want them to go, or Gabon? Everyone wants to go to the World Cup, but then it's good for us to have countries that will go to the World Cup and make us proud, at least, that can go far a little bit, not to get to maybe the group stage, then you are out. But at least when you get into the knockout stage, then you get to the final stage, the last 8, man, that's going to be kudos. Well, let's keep our fingers crossed. But then Nigerians so much believe in the Super Eagles, and we're waiting for what will happen. Very, 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 very expectant. Nigerians are very expectant. And of course, Republic of Congo in their other fixture at the El Barid Stadium, also in Rabat. Winners of both matches, remember that they will meet in the final on November 16th. The winner between Nigeria and Gabon, then of course Cameroon and Republic of Congo. Whoever win from these 2 matches, they will now meet, of course, November 16th to determine who advance, of course, to the next stage, as a matter of fact. But then it's going to be a very good one, because those ones who advance to the Interconfederation playoff. This is not the end of the playoff, because if you succeed, if you qualify from this playoff, there is still going to be Interconfederation. This playoff, I don't even like it at all. I don't like it at all. I don't even like it, because after qualifying, if you are qualified from this one, you still go to the Interconfederation playoff again for a place at the 2026 World Cup in the North American. But then what happens if Nigeria defeat Gabon and they play another one in November, and they win and they get to the Confederation playoff? What do you think is going to happen? Are we going to get to North America? That's my hope. But the Super Eagles, who last featured at the Global Tournament in 2018, aiming to reclaim their place on football's biggest stage. Of course, that is going to be one of the biggest stage after missing out on the 2022 edition in Qatar. That's a good one. We can't be talking about the men and don't talk about the women. There is one of our ladies, one of the Super Falcon stars that is making Nigeria proud right now. Do you know what Okoronkwo did? Okoronkwo had hat-trick, fires Toronto into NSL final. In fact, the Super Falcons are forward. I'm talking about Esther Okoronkwo. Well, Esther Okoronkwo, if you've been following her, she has been very fantastic. Even in our last match, you see how good and beautiful she was. And of course, her performance was actually noted by almost everyone that watched that game. And she didn't just stop her performance. It's not that she's good only when she plays for the Super Falcons of Nigeria, but even in her club side, she's not doing badly. She's doing beautifully well. How do I mean? Esther was able to at least deliver a stunning first half a hat-trick to send her club, AFC Toronto, into the inaugural Northern Super League Championship game. That was beautiful. That was fantastic. Please, let's clap for Esther Okoronkwo. Good one for you there. Her goal actually helped seal a 4-1 victory over the Montreal Roses in Monday's snow cover semi-final at the York Lions Stadium. Okoronkwo, who actually recorded 8 goals and 8 assists in 1,486 minutes during the regular season. Wasted no time extending that form, was extended, of course, even to her club. How old is she? She's just 28-year-old, and of course she struck in the 7th, 20th and 26th minute. That was what gave her the hat-trick that she scored for her club, and that has already put the regular season champions firmly in control right now, completing a 6.1 aggregate win over the visitors. Congratulations, and we are excited for Esther Okoronkwo right there for her performance. That was a beautiful one. All right, I think at this point in time, let's go on a quick break. When we return, we'll bring you some other stories from the NPFL, where Ilechukwu remain in charge of Rangers. When we return, we'll talk more about that after this break. Welcome back from that break, of course. Let's take you to the MPFA right now and see what is happening there. This is good news. Ile could remain in charge of Rangers. Is it not a beautiful news? It's a good news. How did it really happen? Of course, Ile Rangers assistant coach Ile has now insisted that Fidelis Ikechukwu remain the head of coach of the club. Well, that's a good one. It was reported in the media that Ile has been in and out of the team on international duty with the Super Eagles. Ekenedile Chukwu revealed that Ile prepared the team for the match day 12 encounter against Shooting Stars. Rangers assistant coach Eke actually has insisted that Fidelis remain the head of the club, and of course it is a very beautiful one. Even though he is embarking on of course international duty, he prepared the team for the match day 12 encounter, and he said that the team is playing under the instruction of the head coach. Rangers defeated Shooting Stars 1-0 in Enugu. I told you that yesterday with Chidozie Wunde netting the winning goal. Coach Fidelis Ile is not to be blamed for anything. He was the one who put the team in place. He was part of the preparation for the clash against Shooting Stars. According to what was said, he said Ile absence doesn't affect winning or losing, as they are playing under his tactical guidance. According to the assistant coach Eke, he stated this in the media interview that he had with the team. At least when you have a good assistant coach, that is exactly what you get. He's been away on international duty, but then he is the one that is giving instruction. You know, when you already know your players, you give instructions. When you are away, and the instructions will actually go down, and nobody would actually be faulted for anything. I think there is a lesson to learn from here, and that's the fact that the assistant coach is owning up to say, well, whatever you see happen right here, it is based on the instruction of my superior. If it is some places, they will say, okay, he's not around, he will be pushing to take over from him, but then he didn't do that. He just said, well, the coach is the one giving instruction, and we are going with his instruction, and that's beautiful. All right, moving away from there, let's talk about another Nigerian player right now, and of course that is Teller. Let's talk about Teller a little bit before we leave the shores of Nigeria. According to what Teller said, I'm not completely back in training with Leverkusen. The Super Eagles winger Nathan Teller has disclosed that he is yet to return back to full training with Bayern Leverkusen. Recall that the Nigerian international sustained an injury during Leverkusen's 3-1 win over Eintracht Frankfurt in September, and has since then been sidelined. He's not been playing because of that injury, and he said, well, some people are speculating that he's back, and Nathan is saying, well, I'm not completely back yet, according to Teller. And speaking with the media, Teller stated this, according to what he told Talksport. He said the club's medical team doesn't want to rush him back until he's 100% physically fit. There is no point bringing him to the field of play when he is not fit. When he was speaking with the media, he said that is what the medical team is after. It's better to come back very fit. It's better to come back very agile. It's better to come back smart, so that when you get into the field of play, you will be able to deliver. And of course, if you look at Teller so far in Bayern Leverkusen, he has been fantastic in his play, and well, the coaches are not playing with him at all. And you see, that was when he got a goal, and he was celebrating the goal. These are the kind of players that you would not want to rush them into the field of play. According to what he said he's not completely back in training with the team yet, but he has more confidence in the leg that he did last time out. The last time he did a walkout about, I think he's improving, and he said he feel like he's on the right track. That is Teller saying this now, that he's no longer in pain. The pain, according to Teller, is no longer there. Now it's just a matter of gaining confidence in his knee, and after the injury, he needs to gain confidence in his knees. I believe in the knee, know that yes, with this at least I'll be able to come into the field of play and perform what I normally do. And he said he hoped to be back soon and then stay with the team. At least a lot of people have missed him in Leverkusen. He said, well, he doesn't know that it was a strange injury. He felt his knee and it was quite painful, but he said he wasn't too worried, and he tried to train before the first Champions League game in Copenhagen. Then Mönchengladbach came along, but he said the injury didn't really heal, and it was probably something more serious than just a knock to the knee. And together with the doctors and coaches, he said he decided not to rush anything until he was 100% fit. I think that is good enough for me, instead of rushing the player, and of course then you don't get his best. Then at the end of the day, they start blaming him. This is how it happened. This is Teller, and he's a young guy. He's very young. Now that he has this injury, it's better to allow him to heal very well before he returned to the field of play, because he said what happened is that he tore his cruciate ligament 6 years ago. Now it's a 10-week break compared to 10 months. That's nothing. He said he wanted to stay positive. That is what Teller told the media, and it's a very fantastic one. Well, I think he should be allowed to heal very well, so that when he returns to the field of play, everything will be all right. We're also waiting for when he will actually apply his trade in his country home. The way he's performing for Leverkusen, that's the way he's supposed to perform back home. Well, it is still Talksport. Let's get back to what is happening from CAF again, as Puma and CAF have unveiled AFCON 2025 ball. The Confederation of African Football, talking about CAF in partnership with the leading global sports brand, talking about Puma, have unveiled the official match ball for the Total Energies CAF African Cup of Nations Morocco 2025. And of course, the name ITRI, the ball draws inspiration from Morocco's centuries-old Zelish art form, and renowned for its intricate geometric mosaic, while symbolizing the unity and passion of African football across the whole continent. And the name also pays tribute to the star featured on the Moroccan flag, and of course reflects the star pattern that holds significance in traditional Zelish craftsmanship. Puma, this is what they do, because they wanted to tailor the ball. Beautiful ball, my God. You see how beautiful that ball is. It appears as if I should just go and pick the ball now and start tipping it. I'm a striker, you know what I mean. But Puma actually marked the official launch by releasing a real video showcasing the ITRI ball, marking a key milestone in the lead up to the tournament. The ITRI ball will make its debut in the opening match of the Total Energy CAF African Cup of Nations in Morocco 2025. The ball's striking design incorporates a traditional Moroccan Zelish geometric pattern, like I said earlier. And of course, it is something that everyone want to pride of. At least one good thing is that the ball has red and green color, like you can see it. It has red and green color. Let me tell you, that red and green color palette expresses what we call passion. It expresses hope, and it expresses pride, while also paying homage to Moroccan's national identity. That's beautiful one. Congratulations to CAF and Puma for unveiling that AFCON 2025 ball. The ball is looking beautiful. Well, let's see how beautiful that ball is when it's been kicked by 21 men, all right, from both sides of the field. All right, let's move away from there and bring you other details right now. Let's talk about the IOC as they may begin trans women women ban in 2026. The International Olympic Committee has moved a step closer to introducing a blanket ban on transgender women. If you're a transgender, no, you won't play anymore. That is coming from IOC, and there is nothing you can do about it. Transgender, are they going to be playing with the men or they'll be playing with the women? That's the problem. Because is it going to be Paulina or Paulina? Is it Paul or Pauline? Which one? I don't, sometimes it's confusing. You won't know whether they are men or they are women because they are transgender. Would they be playing with the men or they'll be playing with the women? All the while they've been playing with the women, and of course, they are transgender women from female categories across all sports. If you are a woman and you are a transgender means you man and woman, sort of. They said, well, there is going to be a ban, and across all sports. The IOC president, talking about Kinsey Ventry, vowed to bring in the policy as part of her election campaign and set up a working group on the protection of women's sports. The IOC said the review is continuing its discussion on this topic, and no decision have been taken yet. But then, however, everyone needs to know that after presentation by its medical chief, sources have told the media, including Talksport's crew and Global TV Sports Desk, that a ban is likely to be introduced in 2026. Last week, the IOC Medical and Scientific Director, Dr. Jane Thompson, actually said it was an update that she gave, and she said its members, as the organization works through the details of the potential move, as first reported by the Times, she revealed that initial finding of the science-based review suggested that athletes born male retain physiological advantages even after reducing testosterone level, according to what they were told the media. The media has reported, have already reported that blanket ban is unlikely to be introduced before the 2026 Winter Olympics, but could be brought in before the Los Angeles Games in 2028 back in March. Former swimmer Coventry, a seven-time Olympic medalist, told the media also that the IOC must play a leading role in discussion in this area, of course hinting at a major shift in approach. And of course, the IOC has previously left sex eligibility regulations to the governing bodies of individual sports rather than applying a universal approach, with many allowing transgender women athletes to compete in female competition if they lower their testosterone, of course, their testosterone level after being elected. Coventry said a working group on the issue made an expert and international federation would ensure that they find a consensus. She added that the IOC members had shown overwhelming support to protecting the female category in sport, and that's what it means, because you can't be a man and be playing with women now. It's an added advantage, and it's not even good at all, because the president of the International Paralympic Committee also said he is opposed to blanket solution for transgender participation policy. Well, that is that. We would also want to remind you that so many things are still happening from the cold city of Jos, and our own very Samuel Odi is right there to bring us the report. Well, it's so interesting that the medal table is shining, and of course we will bring you that, and of course he is going to be talking about the medal table and how the games are going down right there. But I think it will be interesting for you to know that the medal table so far, official medal table, last updated yesterday. As a matter of fact, Delta State University is at the top, and of course, 5 gold and 5 silver as a matter of fact. All right, as it is right now, we'll connect to what will happen from Nuga. As a matter of fact, Samuel will be joining us after this break. Then we'll bring you the details from what is happening back there in Jos, where the Nuga 2025 is going on. We'll return after this break. All right, joining us from Jos Plateau State, where Nuga 2025 is going on, is Samuel Odi. It's good to have you join us this morning, Odi. Hello, Samuel.
Yeah, it's always good to talk. Yes, good morning. I say it's always good to hope you can hear me clearly.
Yes, it's better now. So how is it going with the Nuga game in Jos right now?
Well, so far so good. Everything is going on well. Just though yesterday there was a bit of complaint from, some officials and athletes, but the concerns have been taken care of because at some point there was a little bit of part, but that was also taken care of, and more security personnel came on ground yesterday, so everywhere it's so security tight, and the games are going on, free.
All right. How is the performance like right now? The table, I can see Delta State University at the top of the medal table as at yesterday.
Yes, Delta State University, this is an updated medal table. So currently, this is like the medal table. Delta State is leading the pack. As you can see, though yesterday they suffered an upset by Ekiti State, where Ekiti State University defeated them 1-0 in the football competition. But that's notwithstanding, they have 5 golds and then 5 silver medal, and they are leading the medal table with a total of 10 medals. And then Ben City, the outside university, also coming in secondly. These top schools are the ones that have been very, very, hungry, and everybody that has the mentality of making sure they finish at the medal table.
No, all right, but the gap is so much. Look at Delta State University with 10 points, then followed by the second university with 5 points. Then we'll have 3, 3, 3, 3, 2, then 4 done. You know, the margin is so much. How comes?
Well, I think, Delta State has always been known for a city of a lot of athletes, if you know. Even the likes of Favor, Blessing Okebari of yesteryears, and the rest of the other marvelous athletes that we've actually had coming out from Delta State. So it's not just new that we are seeing Delta State leading the medal table at this point. And again, the previous years also, Team Delta, even when it comes to the national sports games, Team Delta are one-time defending champions, and then they have some basketball, football.
All right. Those are very wonderful analysis from there. Yes, I can hear you.
Track and field. I think we leave that for the Delta.
Oh, okay. I think it's like the network is not very strong. It's like the network is not very strong right now.
This morning, but so far.
All right. Okay. I think so far the way it is right now, I think Delta, and if you look at that table, you discover that Delta and Bensini Dahosa that are leading, they are more like neighbors. All right. Delta, then you go to University of Benin, then Benin, of course, Delta, Idahosa University, Besini Idahosa University, then you talk about Delta. They are somehow like neighbors, and they are the ones stopping. Well, let's see. The game is still on. Let's see what is going to happen. As a matter of fact, we are keeping our fingers crossed to see how that is really going to go. But for me, so far so good. You can see that what we have there is a lot of medals are being won. It's so outstanding that these guys are not even going for the bronze, okay? Everybody is going for gold and silver, majority gold and silver. You can see that apart from just few universities, you will see that everyone is actually going for the silver. All right, Samuel, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
All right. As it is right now, looking at the whole scenario, what are we expecting today?
Yeah. Today's continuation of Nuga 2025 happening in all disciplines. In cricket, basketball, volleyball. Currently, as we speak, boxing is that badminton, I beg your pardon, is currently ongoing at Rayfield. That's the sport where that one is happening. And again, we have chess competition, which is happening, also happening, and it will be running all through till like volleyball has also started. It started at about 10:30 a.m. Both the male and the female category is ongoing. Handball also started, and then cricket also. All of the games have started in their specific locations, and it's going to run all through today, and we'll get updated on the medal table.
Oh, all right. Thank you very much for joining us. We'll hope after the games today, we'll talk to you again to see if another person is going to overtake, all right, Delta State University on the medal table. But that will be difficult because the gap, the margin is so much. But then it is a game. Anything is possible.
Possibly anything is possible, but from the stands now and the advantages you're seeing with Team Delta, they are very prepared and they are looking very hungry to go unbeaten, and not drop down from that number one position. But like you said, it's a game of sports. Anything can happen from any category.
All right.
Well, definitely update you with the happenings.
Okay, thank you very much, Samuel, for joining us on Talksport this morning.
Thank you.
All right, let's quickly take you back to what's happening, but then we'll keep you updated as the table that you just saw. Do you see the possibility of overtaking Delta State University anytime soon? I think a majority of their medals came from track and field, and of course it's very beautiful. 10 medals difference between them and the second position, which is Benson Idahosa University. Well, let's see what is going to happen. But there are some universities that I'm not seeing there. Well, it is not all about private or is federal or state. But then, congratulations to, of course, Delta State University. Would they be able to keep this fit until the end of the game? Well, that we will let you know on Talksport. Now, let's quickly move to our own Mikel Obi. You know, Mikel cannot stop talking about Chelsea anytime, any day, because he's a Chelsea legend. Mikel Obi has now predicted where Chelsea will finish this season. Okay, let's look at it now. You are there, I am here, Samson is there, Michael is there, different club supporters, fans are there. Now, let's look at it. Chelsea fans, let's ask you, are you on the same page with Mikel Obi? Well, I call him Michael Obi. As a matter of fact, let's quickly bring you the update right now that, of course, former Super Eagles midfielder John Obi Mikel has predicted where Chelsea will finish in the Premier League this season. And he was speaking in a podcast, and Mikel Obi admitted that his former club will not be in the title race. Oh, all right. However, he has tipped them to finish in the top 4 place. They won't get the moon, but they will get the star. That's what it means. He said, and I quote, "I think we are not going to win the league this season." That is Mikel Obi talking. He said he think they lack a bit more of experience in terms of winning the league, but he thinks that the top 4 should be the aim this season. Don't go for the trophy, just go for top 4. But listen, if we are there, we are there. Chelsea go into the November international break in 3rd place with 20 points after their first 11 fixtures. And of course, the Blues are 6 points behind leaders Arsenal, who they face after the break. Moving away from there, I think it will also be expedient for us to talk about EPL again, where Emmanuel Petit names Chelsea, Liverpool midfielder. He wanted Arsenal to sign. According to the former Arsenal man, talking about Emmanuel Petit, he said he wanted Chelsea and Liverpool midfielder Ms. Casedo and of course Alexis McAllister, respectively, before they join their current side. Arsenal, Casedo has already helped Chelsea in victories at the FIFA Club World Cup and, of course, the Europa Conference League. McAllister, meanwhile, has won the Carabao Cup and Premier League for Liverpool in the past. And, of course, can the same thing also be repeated where he is right now? That is the big question begging for an answer. Now, let's also inform you and let you know that so many things are happening. When legends are talking, you know what they are referring to. Of course, Petit is someone that everyone can actually point to and say, well, this is a real man. And of course, Petit doesn't hide it. According to what he said Chelsea needs to win the Premier League and other big trophies. They've started well with the European Conference League and Club World Cup, but they are level below the trophies they need to win, meaning what they've won so far is not compared to what they are supposed to win. That's what he is saying right there. And of course, as we try to round up, the 6 players set for Arsenal return in major injury booster. Who are these players? Do you care to know? It is, of course, the Arsenal manager, Mikel Arteta, that said he could welcome up to 6 players back. In Odega and also forward Kai Havertz and of course Gabriel Martini back for the frantic fixture list. Well, that will be beautiful. These are guys that a lot of people have missed. Returning back to the game is going to be a plus, and Arsenal will also make a trip to Chelsea after playing their fierce rival with a Champions League game against Bayern Munich sandwich in between. Those are the games that we'll be looking forward to. But finally, before I go, I think our fans will be interested to know that Napoli president Aurelio De Laurentiis has dismissed report that manager Antonio Conte is set to resign from his position. He said he's not the one saying that. The speculation arose following Napoli's recent 2-0 Serie A defeat to Bologna over the weekend. These are predictions coming from fans, and you know how this thing happened because of these guys that they are putting 1 or 2 naira on the game. They predict a whole lot of things, but he has come out to say, well, as the president of Napoli, I want to clear the air that Conte is not resigning and we're not sacking him. And of course, has Conte performed badly? Well, it's not that when you lose one match, people start talking about you leaving the club and all of that. That is not the bet. And De Laurentiis has labeled the report as false. It's a fake story. That is what he said. He said, I am proud to have a man like Conte. To me, the club and the squad, we are glad. De Laurentiis said, as quoted by Fabrizio Romano, who has also said he's a guarantee for our club, our players, and our fans. Conte will lead Napoli to the Serie A title in his first season at the club. That was what he did. However, this season, Conte's side are currently 4th in the Serie A table.